Big news day. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. The Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, who will never sew you a roof you do not need, online at laportaroofing.com. Okay, craziness going on today. So Biden, it was announced that he's not running for re-election, and he endorsed Kamala Harris. There has been so much drama in the last 2 to 3 hours since this happened, okay? And we're going to break down where things are as of now. And I'll tell you, we were just starting the podcast when this news dropped, and we stopped. We're starting over. New podcast episode. And right after it broke, I did a YouTube live stream. And since then, a bunch of stuff has happened, okay, since I did that YouTube live stream. And so let's go through this. This is nuts, Kathy. Okay. Biden endorsed Kamala Harris, but the Obamas did not. They released a statement. It's long, because Obama's in love with himself. It's very long. All it does is praise Biden in his lifetime of dedication to, whatever. Does not endorse Kamala. Which is really interesting.
But Hillary Clinton endorsed her.
Bill Clinton endorsed her.
So did Hillary.
On behalf of Hillary, all right? He released like a joint statement. Yeah. So the Clintons endorsed Kamala.
Probably without Hillary's permission.
Yeah, she's probably drinking.
She's probably pissed
as soon as she heard about it, she went to the bar.
She went
to the liquor cabinet. Again, you and those women, you and your women, Bill, look what you've done to me. But Obama not endorsing Kamala Harris is a big deal. That's a big deal.
That could change.
Yeah, but the divisions are there.
Yeah.
Also, immediately, Mike Johnson has come out and said, well, if he's not fit to run, he's not fit to hold the office.
Trump said the same thing.
Okay, so a lot of things. Let's first talk about the convention process. At this moment in time, and this will develop and change every step of the way here in the next couple of days. As things go now, they're still heading towards a brokered convention, the Democrats, okay? And I know a lot of people are saying, well, can't Biden just give the delegates to Kamala? Here's how that works, okay? I am not of the opinion that Nancy Pelosi is going to in any way, shape, or form help Kamala Harris become president of the United States. Not that Kamala can beat Trump. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I was talking about this on the live stream. Kamala and Nancy Pelosi have known each other for many, many years. They first met when Kamala Harris was introduced to Nancy Pelosi as Willie Brown's girlfriend at a political event, okay? She's not going to let some girlfriend bimbo of Willie Brown have any chance of becoming president of the United States. And Nancy Pelosi holds all the power with the Democrats. And I'll tell you something. This business of Biden dropping out and endorsing Kamala Harris, we haven't seen any video or even photographs of him writing this statement or anything. So no. I'm wondering, Kathy, how much Biden is in the loop. Because Biden, I saw another video of Biden from a couple days ago walking. I've seen 2 videos of him getting on and off of Air Force One. When he walked on, and these are the baby steps. He went up the little steps. He could hardly walk up the steps.
Yeah, I wonder if something happened. If he had some kind of episode or stroke or something.
Yeah, when he came down, you could tell he was checked out. He didn't know where he was.
Something happened for Jill to agree to this. Something with his health, I think.
I don't think he has COVID.
No.
I don't think he has COVID. I think COVID is a cover story.
Yeah.
I think he's either had another stroke. It could be a mini stroke, but I think he's either
something changed
another
Jill's
stroke
mind.
Or some other health problem.
Yeah.
And they're keeping him isolated, and they're using COVID as a cover story to keep Joe isolated.
Right. Well, the election is in 4 months. They can't hide him forever. Eventually, they're going to have to show him and have him come out. But I think it's very curious that he sent out a letter, which you made the point to me. We don't even know if he might not even have signed it himself. And I would think he'd come out and address on television and make like a big statement and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
this week.
You know what I mean by that, Kathy, is Joe Biden may not be aware that he's not running.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he had some kind of health issue, because we all saw him, he couldn't even get into the car.
No,
it was worse than when Hillary was trying to get in the car. And he couldn't even walk. So I'm wondering if he had some kind of medical episode over the weekend that made him severely, out of it, incapacitated, whatever you want to call it. We don't know. Mm-hmm. And maybe Jill was like, okay, obviously this can't go on anymore. I've dragged it out long enough. Here we go. And they made some kind of deal with her. But then why would he endorse her, though? We know Jill would never do that. Why would that come?
Money.
Add an extra few million to the pot.
Now, I'll say we may see Joe make a comment in a statement in a photograph tomorrow, the next day or something. That doesn't mean he's a part of it now, because he seems to be pretty out of the loop of all of this right now, or we would have seen him publicly or some photos or something in the private residence, him doing this.
This is the least transparent administration we've ever had. I mean, they absolutely hide things. They lie, cheap fakes, he's fine, this and that. Everything they would say all of this until Biden did that debate. Mm-hmm. And I'm really wondering if Jill regrets letting him do that. Or if he even knows he even did it, regrets doing it, because everything changed after that. But Brian and I said that he was set up. Mm-hmm. We think they had him do the debate on purpose because they knew that it would be a disaster. Maybe we're wrong on that, but it seems like that got the ball rolling. If he had never done the debate, there would be no talk about him leaving or anything unless he was really bad and they had no choice.
Yeah. And, I think the fact that the Obamas did not endorse her, now again, they may down the road, but they didn't in the beginning. The fact that the Obamas did not endorse her.
Well, they could be holding out for a beach house like Bernie.
They already they're set up.
Well, you never know. That's how it works in Washington.
The fact that the Obamas did not endorse her out the gate, like the Clintons did and the Bidens did, shows that there's still division inside the Democrat Party. And people who say, well, can't he just give the delegates to her? There has not during any of our lifetimes has there been a convention of either of the major parties where the outcome was not known before the convention, okay? They used to have broker conventions. It used to be the norm. They haven't had one like in 100 years, okay? So far as what happens with the delegates and how will it work, since no one has experienced it who's alive, they can make up anything they want and say, these are the rules and this is how it works. They can do whatever they want because no one really knows how it works.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
RFK Jr., this is Jack Posobiec, just tweeted this. He just had a press conference. He said J.D. Vance is a CIA candidate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You think that's possible?
What does he base that on?
I don't know. But he said RFK just said J.D. Vance is a CIA candidate.
I don't believe that. You know why I don't believe it? Because Trump picked him. And not only and Trump
picked Mike Pence too.
Well, that was a mistake that he won't make again. He wasn't a CIA guy. But he had everybody he knows check out J.D. Vance. He could have picked anybody he wanted, and he did a lot of vetting and a lot of searching. And I think RFK is just trying to get trending today because
he's running for president
and
too.
Nobody's talking about him. They're talking about Kamala.
He's trying to take advantage of the situation.
He's trying to inject himself into it.
Yeah.
But this thing with Kamala, no one knows how a brokered convention will work, which means they can make it up any way they want to. Okay? So anyone who gives you analysis of what's going to happen at the convention, we really don't know.
Kamala officially filed to run.
Yeah.
And they've already started diverting funds to her campaign. So unless somebody now, if they did a brokered convention, I don't think they'll have a brokered convention. I think they're gonna go with her.
Yeah,
it's too late.
Probably,
and she's already filed to run. She's already getting money pouring into her, and I really don't think the Democratic Party wants to overlook a black woman. I'm sorry. I think they're just so woke that they're going to say to themselves, we can't do that. Like Sonny Hostin said, it'll piss off all these black people and this women and the whatever. But I think they're thinking that way, and she's connected with all those elite liberal Democrats.
She is from California,
and
remember?
I think that it will be Kamala. This talk of broker convention, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi doesn't like Kamala, and she's probably fighting on it. But I think it's too late to do that. And Kamala's already filed, and she's already getting donations and money, and she's already going to probably start campaigning tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if that happens, how do they then come out and say we're not giving it to her? I mean, you know what I mean? She's going to run with
Kamala,
this immediately.
Okay, Pelosi controls all the fundraising. Okay, that's why she was the decider of she's always the decider of everything, even though she's not speaker. So Kamala will be held back from her. I think she'll probably be the nominee too. But there's a lot of division inside the Democrat Party over this. And Nancy Pelosi is an elitist snob, and she's not going to let Willie Brown's mistress be president of the United States if she can help it. And I also think
it's going to be Kamala.
It's no big deal for a black woman to be running for president. And we had Obama, we had Hillary. Mm-hmm. It's no big thing. If this were 2008, she might have more of a leg up. And she's got a big problem that others from the outside wouldn't have. Since she's the border czar and the vice president, she's accountable and responsible for everything Joe is. So all these Americans that have been killed, murdered, raped, victimized by the illegals, that blood's on Kamala's hands too, as well as everything else, the inflation and all that stuff. Another thing that these questions are already starting, by the way. The Trump PAC already has an ad out holding her accountable for everything during the Biden administration. The other thing is, if she's guilty of some severe crimes of elder abuse, and she also has not done her constitutional duty to invoke the 25th Amendment because the president is mentally unfit. We know he's mentally unfit, not just because we've said it, but that's why he's not running for re-election. And so she's this.
The only thing I worry about is
when we get to Monday. When we get to Tuesday, by the middle of the week, the discussion is all going to be, what did she know about his mental capacity? Why hasn't she not gotten involved in it? Also, her responsibility with the border and everything else that's going on. Now, Obama, by not endorsing her, in his statement, he said whoever the nominee eventually is.
Yeah, he said we'll choose the right nominee.
So Obama is still talking about a brokered convention. Now I got a guess for you guys, okay? I'm going to take back what I said that Kamala will probably be the nominee based on Obama's statement. This is what I think could be in play here.
It's going to be interesting.
The Biden-Harris campaign have tens of millions of dollars that if one of them didn't run, the money would have to be refunded. So the Bidens are probably getting a chunk of that, a commission of that, okay? That money has something to do with this Kamala endorsement. The fact that Obama says decide who the eventual nominee will be tells me broker convention, and it very well may not be her. Who it'll be, I don't know. But Obama and Pelosi are not endorsing her. Obama and Pelosi are the two people. Mm-hmm. The Clintons are out of the loop, okay? Bill Clinton, they're all out of the loop, okay? Please. Obama and Pelosi, they run the Democrat Party, and they control the fundraising apparatus.
Well, I think people want to see Joe Biden, and that's really what a lot of people are talking about on Twitter, especially Jack Posobiec. He tweeted, "We need proof of life." and Trump said, "Who's running America right now?" So he needs to come out and say something. But I never thought he would drop out, and unless something happened where it was absolutely had to. And I'm not wishing anything on him or anything like that. But I'm wondering if he had some kind of medical event.
Obviously, COVID's a cover.
Made it where Jill was like, "Okay, he obviously can't go on anymore."
No, COVID's a cover. I don't buy any of it. Yeah.
So something changed.
That doesn't mean we're not going to see him. They'll trot him out at some point. But something's happened with him, and it's not COVID.
Might not.
It's not COVID.
Well, like you said, I don't think Pelosi likes Kamala, and I don't think she'll do whatever she can to keep her from getting sworn in. You know what I mean? the point I made to you is also, if they say they decide to swear in, it comes out that something's happened and he can't run the country anymore, and they say, okay, we're gonna have to swear in Kamala now. I don't think they want to do that, because once they do that, she's officially the first female president.
It's a big deal.
And that momentum to vote for a female goes away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people voted for Obama because they wanted to be part of voting the first.
Oh, you mean
black
they want to
president.
say that in the future? They want to say that for
if
the
she
future?
becomes president by default, that momentum of actually voting for a woman to make that happen, they lose that, because it's already happened.
I know exactly.
She's already the president now. Mm-hmm. So I think the Democrats don't want that. I'm sure they're thinking like that. Like, look, we can get a lot of women to vote for her because they'll be electing the first female president. And a lot of women, I'm afraid, might jump on that bandwagon and be like, you know what? We got an elected, even though she's a complete idiot. But you know how some people
She's the
are
worst
just
kind
not
of woman.
smart.
She has sex with married men. She's the worst kind of woman.
Well, I hate that. But a lot of people get brainwashed easily. And I'm really worried they're going to harp on this first female thing. But if she becomes the president now, that is lost because it's already happened. So there's no desire to make that happen. You understand what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting week. I bet the people in the news have had, especially Fox News, because I have to say their coverage has been amazing the last 2 weeks. I've been watching it a lot. It's very pro-Trump, and the coverage of the convention was incredible, and the assassination attempt and all that stuff. But I bet these people are just hardly sleeping. There is so much happening in the news. There's never, like you said, hasn't been a brokered convention in 100 years.
I've been awake for 8 days, pretty much.
Yeah,
if you know.
Yeah, and
so much news,
and so we really don't know how those work. And when it did happen, I mean, all you had were pretty much newspapers. There was no video.
No, they had
maybe photographs.
Telegraph.
Yeah,
Telegraph.
I mean, that's it. So this is really uncharted territory.
Now, it is hot. You know, we're in South Florida, and this time of you guys know it's hot, but we were just talking to our daughter in Los Angeles. It's hotter in California
it is.
Than it is here in Florida. And, you know, no matter where you are during this hot time of year, if you want to sleep well at night, go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and there's a couple things I want to recommend to you that will make the hot summer nights much more comfortable, okay? The MyPillow 2.0. The MyPillow 2.0, which is buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. It has that same patented fill-in side that Mike Lindell invented that started everything, but the material is made of that special cooling technology that keeps your head and neck cool all night long. You'll never turn the pillow over again looking for the cool side, and it makes these hot nights much, much more comfortable. And it's buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. The MyPillow bed sheets, the MyPillow sheets are spectacular. Kathy and I also have the MyPillow sheets. They keep you cool all night long. Those are just $25 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. By the way, they come in every mattress size there is, okay, from twin all the way up to California King and every size in between. Now, you can use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on all the products at mypillow.com. And remember, when you do that, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com. You're supporting the program and all of the content that I bring to you, the radio show, my YouTube channel, and the podcast. And all these MyPillow products that you hear me and Kathy talk about, we have bought them all with the promo code Kane, except the first pillow, because they weren't with us when we bought the first pillow. The deals are good and so incredibly good because of Mike Lindell getting shut out of Walmart and all these stores. You're getting wholesale pricing now, right? These are the prices that Walmart would have paid. That's why the prices are so low and so good right now. So use our promo code Kane at checkout, support our program and Mike Lindell. That's promo code Kane, Kane, at mypillow.com. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. In today's world, school safety, gang violence, and mass shooting prevention are top issues with parents, schools, and in our nation. From author Edward Gilliam comes a groundbreaking new book on preventing gang violence and mass shootings, The Compton Shuffle, available on Amazon. Author Edward Gilliam is a dedicated educator and former principal of some of America's most challenging schools. He shares his proven methods to bring peace and stability. When you read The Compton Shuffle, you'll discover how proactive measures can safeguard our communities, how to prevent social unrest and protect innocent lives. You'll also discover how to mitigate psychological distress and economic burdens caused by violence. This book provides an in-depth look at successful strategies to combat violence and create safer environments for students and communities. Join author Edward Gilliam on this vital journey to understand, prevent, and reduce gang violence as well as mass shootings. Become a part of the solution for a safer world and order your copy of The Compton Shuffle, available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions, as well as the website boldaffirmation.com. Take action and contribute to making our schools and communities safer. The Compton Shuffle on Amazon. Do you have old electronics you don't use anymore? Maybe they don't even work. Turn them into cash with Gizmodo.com. Gizmodo.com buys old, broken, and used electronics, phones, tablets, laptops, Macs, game consoles, cameras, lenses, drones, smartwatches, iPods, media players, headphones, speakers, Kindles, and more. Get free quotes with a 15-day guarantee and free shipping in the United States. If your device is too old and has no value, Gizmodo.com will responsibly recycle the e-waste for free, and they'll cover the shipping for that too. Visit Gizmodo.com. That's Gizmogo. Gizmodo.com. Turn your old electronics into money. Gizmodo.com. From the best-selling author of Hired Gun and the cleverly titled follow-up book, Hired Gun 2, Robert Danger Workman, comes a book filled with intrigue and suspense. Maximum Prejudice, a love story. This neo-noir crime thriller will leave you on the edge of your seat if you want to uncover the secrets behind the 6 JFK shooters in Dealey Plaza. If you're curious about their locations and who didn't use a silencer, then you will want to add Maximum Prejudice, a love story, to your must-read list. When you read Maximum Prejudice, a love story, you'll discover the dark world of global elitists and take a wild ride with the president, the first lady, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the first female Secretary General of the United Nations, and Nick Wolf, a New York City private investigator. Maximum Prejudice, a love story from best-selling author Robert Danger Workman is available on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited, as well as the author's website, Hired Gun 2, that's the number 2, hiredgun2.com. Order your copy right now and join the adventure. What if the future was closer than you think? In the book, The AI That Feared Death, Romeo and Juliet in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, from entrepreneur, engineer, and author Jay Raventos, the stakes have never been higher. When one of the world's most influential billionaires warns in a podcast that the mysterious foundation at the heart of Silicon Valley is on the verge of achieving artificial general intelligence, the world listens. And the existential risks that follow, they have everyone talking. 2 freshmen at Stanford who were caught in a whirlwind plot will make you question what it truly means to be human. The AI That Feared Death, Romeo and Juliet in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, is available now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and Kindle Unlimited. This book is filled with love, technology, and the ultimate human experience. Order your copy right now. The AI That Feared Death, from author Jay Raventos, on Amazon.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Okay, now another thing with this Kamala Harris endorsement by Biden, which we still have not seen him do, or Jill, nothing, right? So, like I say, we're not even sure Joe Biden knows yet that he's not running for re-election. One thing that I think they may have rushed this out was to change the news cycle away from the Trump assassination conspiracy. Because if you look at what's been going on, okay, in the last couple of days, more and more very strange things about the Trump assassination attempt have been coming out. It's been reported by some of the most mainstream liberal news outlets, the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, Fox News. They've all been all over this, okay? It's not just conservative media. And in the next segment, we uncovered something today about the assassination attempt on President Trump that will just totally freak you out. It's in the next segment. And when we started the podcast, that was going to be the first segment. But we started the podcast, and then this announcement came out about Biden and Kamala. So, we had to start over. So that's going to be the final segment. Do not miss it. What we uncovered is insane. There's some new things that have come out and new people that are involved in a cover-up of what happened at the site of the Trump assassination attempt that I'm totally in shock about. Okay, that's going to be in the next segment. Do not miss it. But if you look at what's been going on, there's been a bunch of sitting senators, 5 at least, that have been very active. Josh Hawley even went over the weekend to the site, was run off by the FBI, and all these other things. And if you notice, since the assassination attempt on President Trump, the government have been constantly trying to get the media narrative to pivot somewhere else. The Iranians were after. Remember that? They started that. A couple other things this week. Nothing worked. This Kamala Harris Biden story has totally taken the Trump assassination conspiracy out of the news, and they're just talking about this. And it'll probably be that way for a few days. So I think there's a lot of division in the Democrat Party over Kamala, of course, which we're talking about. But maybe they did this when they did it, Kathy, to get the assassination. Maybe the assassination reporting has been getting too close, and they're trying to get the media off their back. What do you think?
I think that could definitely be part of it. I think RFK Jr., he might be hoping that they nominate him. He's a Democrat, and he might be hoping that they put him in there.
He could show up at the convention.
He might be trying to angle that to. He's got too much baggage.
Yeah.
He's a kook.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. You understand what I mean? He doesn't think he has baggage or is a kook.
Yeah, he's just very radical.
And he's very entitled. Now, I want to play some audio here. This is Van Jones after the announcement today.
Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys. And everybody, you got to take his keys. You got to take his keys. You got to, and he's fighting and he's fighting. And everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back. And then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody, you wouldn't be here without him. And you had to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, this politics is politics. But this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America. This is a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who want him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this is leadership. This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first and put the party first and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. Yeah. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so I just want to say, I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes. We finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. You did the right thing for this country. You did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday. And I hope that we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done. And a lot of people are heartbroken today. Even if it's the right thing, it's still just horrible.
Okay. Notice he didn't say anything about Kamala.
But if he doesn't know anything about politics, why is he a political
he means like right now. He means like right now.
What's with all these Democratic men crying on television?
I don't know. I mean, I was crying when they shot Trump. But I'm not. Who would cry over Joe Biden?
That's true, man. But that's a little different than dropping out of a race. The guy almost got killed.
Now listen to this. This is now Chris Coons. He's one of the co-chairs of the Biden-Harris campaign, and I mean these guys are just acting very weird today. But you notice Van Jones, who of course is tight with Barack, didn't say anything about Kamala. He's very upset about it. Listen to this. This is Chris Coons, who's remember he's co-chair of the Biden-Harris campaign. This is today.
Joe Biden is grounded. He's grounded in his faith, in his family, and in our state. Excuse me.
He's crying too. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. This was a very difficult decision.
Well, he's crying too. Chris Coons and Van Jones both crying over Biden. I mean, what is that about?
I mean, I could see crying about Trump. People were crying at the convention.
Well, Trump got shot. We didn't know he was going to live.
He got shot, exactly. I mean, yeah, we cried because we were worried he was dead. So
yeah, we thought he wouldn't make it. We didn't know what was going on. You know, I mean, that's
I don't know
different.
What Biden has done that's so great. What are these people talking about? The border's a mess. Inflation is crazy. What has he done that's so great that these people keep saying? He's did wonderful things. What the hell has this guy done?
And, you know, Kamala...
In his 50 years in D.C., I have no clue.
Rip off the treasury and made his family rich.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, another thing with Kamala, during the... This is very important, guys. She's number 2 in the Biden administration. So everything that's going wrong in the country is on her right now. At the Democrat debate in the last election during their primaries, it was the NBC debate. They asked, raise your hand if you support decriminalizing illegal border crossings. And she, with the others, raised her hand. She came out in favor of decriminalizing illegal immigration and making it legal.
The good thing about this is it will keep the Democrats very busy with this situation and out of our hair and things going on. You understand what I'm saying?
Chaos. It's chaos in their party.
They won't be able to be busy with other ththings in terms of what's happening. You know what I mean? Of November, they'll be too busy with this nonsense. Now, I'm not going to. I don't even want to speculate. I really don't care. Like Trump said, it doesn't matter. I really don't care who they pick. But, you know, I think it'll be her because she's already getting money and this and that, and people have already endorsed her.
Yeah.
But she is just such an idiot.
Well, that's true, Kathy. Yes,
every time she talks,
she is an idiot.
She just makes no sense. Now, is it possible that's all an act?
No.
I don't think so.
She's always been that way.
She's just stupid.
She's always been that way. You know what I think, Kathy? I think she smokes weed. I think she's high a lot.
Yeah, she's happy a lot. She laughs a lot.
And by the way, Kathy,
I mean, she's in a good mood all the damn time.
Let me tell you, it is not a sure thing she's getting the nomination. She's got a lot of baggage, not just the Obama baggage. You know how many?
Well, there's going to be a lot of infighting in the party.
When she was Attorney General of California, she put many people, a lot of them black, in prison for smoking marijuana, which she has since admitted that she's done, and she probably still does. She also she arrested parents if their kids skip school.
That's nuts.
You know? So, I mean, she's got a lot of baggage. Plus, everything that's wrong in the country is on her. But and also she's involved in crimes because she's a party to elder abuse of Joe Biden, and she's allowed a feeble man whose mind is gone to remain president while his wife runs the country.
Well, and Biden made her the border czar, and that's a total mess. And she went to the border one time, and it wasn't even the main area.
So Kathy,
so that's a total disaster.
Every American killed, raped, victimized by an illegal,
is on her.
That's exactly. So this is a disaster. See, now this is what's been going on with the Democrats, in my opinion. I've talked about this a lot the last couple of weeks. Okay, I think that the Democrats have accepted the presidential loss, and they also know they're going to lose in Congress, but I think their polls are so bad, a lot of the old guard Democrat establishment members of Congress, that their seats are in jeopardy, and I think they're just trying to hold on to those seats.
Let me ask you this. Since the money, because it's all about money.
Yeah.
Since the money dried up for his campaign, I'm wondering if money dried up for other campaigns too, for congressmen and senators.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they just want to get him out and get somebody on the ticket to get the money flowing again.
For the congressional races.
Right, because it's possible that the donors stopped donating to other races too until they got this resolved.
Right. That's
so
correct.
It's really what they said on the news, which is true. I can't remember who said it. They said it all comes down to the donors. That's why this...
And that's Pelosi and Obama.
That's why he's out, because the donors stopped giving money, the big donors.
That's correct.
It dried up, and if you have no money, you can't run. You got to have money to run a campaign.
That's exactly right.
And that's basically like Abigail Disney, for example. She was a huge
George
donor.
Clooney.
I mean, Elon Musk is giving Trump $45 million a month to a super PAC. Okay, you got to compete. George Clooney, they pulled that money. Abigail Disney pulled money. These are millions and millions. These are
Kathy,
huge donors.
You're right. It goes to the people that are running for House and Senate seats.
I wonder if they stop donating to them too.
Yeah, some of them actually.
Because that money does go. Right? They divvied up a little.
Some of those donors said that they won't donate to anyone who's supporting Biden.
Yeah.
Too.
So they and I don't agree with Van Jones. Biden didn't do this because he's a nice guy. Okay,
he may not even be aware.
He's not a hero. He's a selfish jerk.
Yes.
Okay, he only cares about himself and his family. He's not some martyr that threw himself on his sword. He did this because he had to, because the donors cut him off. That's the only reason he did it. He was forced out by his own party that got him elected. It was a coup, and it worked. And it started with that debate.
But now,
we had said that he was set up from the beginning.
Yeah.
They wanted him out. This was a coup of their own party. Okay? That's what it is. So for Van Jones to cry and act like he's so sanctimonious and such a wonderful guy, it's complete baloney.
Now, you guys got to understand what's happened here, okay? Last weekend, a president was shot, and I have not talked...
I think it's the craziest week in politics ever.
And I want you to think about this, okay? I don't know a single person anywhere who says anything other than there was a conspiracy to try to assassinate President Trump. I haven't heard anybody say this is some low. And by the way, notice it's been over a week. We haven't heard too much about the shooter, or have we? So everyone believes that the government did it. Okay, there's a government conspiracy. A week later, there was a coup on the sitting president.
Yeah. So
there have been two actions against not just the top guys in their parties, but two presidents in a week. That what's going on here is larger than we understand or anyone can really, I think, get their mind around. This has been just an insane week, and there are very powerful people making some big moves in this country against two presidents. This is unheard of. And I want to tell you guys, the next segment you do not want to miss. Like I said, the next segment is the final segment of the show. It was going to be the first segment. Kathy and I uncovered some big stuff involving the conspiracy around the assassination attempt of President Trump. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, RFK Jr. said, I can beat Donald Trump and nobody else can. So he is angling for that nomination.
That's why he said that about J.D. Vance.
That's why he said that about J.D. Vance. So he is angling for that nomination.
You know, Kathy, let me tell you, okay?
Do you think he could get it?
No, but he could make a ruckus. He could listen. Let me tell you this: Robert Kennedy Jr. is a lunatic. Okay,
that's for sure.
He abused women. He is a disgusting person. He's as liberal as it gets. But he's the son of Bobby Kennedy, and he's the nephew of President Kennedy.
That's right.
And he was with his father when he was assassinated, and he is old enough to remember being at the White House with his uncle.
And there's a lot of those old school Democrats still around that are, have money and stuff.
So Robert Kennedy Jr., I mean, if I would meet him, I would shake hands with him, even though he's a scumbucket, because I have respect for President Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy, but I wouldn't, he's a scumbucket, believe me. And he supports radical liberal ideas.
All the Kennedy men are scum.
Yeah. But if he showed up at the convention and they run him off, okay, which they'll do, that would rub a lot of Democrats the wrong way. And I'll tell you another thing. Now. There's a lot of low-level nobodies that may make a move for the nomination too. And it's like, oh, this is our chance. And there's complete division and chaos in the Democrat Party.
Okay, so how does it work? So the delegates don't automatically go to her, even if Biden endorsed her.
Well, Biden said
they don't automatically go to her. Then
Biden did an interview. I think this was the interview with Lester Holt. He did a couple interviews.
Yeah.
One was Stephanopoulos, and I think this was Lester Holt interview. And Lester Holt asked him about the delegates.
Right.
He said the delegates can do what they feel is right.
There you go.
So he released them. So
I think he only endorsed her because she's a black woman. It's his VP, and he'd look like a complete a-hole if he didn't. But I don't think he wanted to do it, even if maybe he doesn't even know what he's doing. But I guess this is going to be just crazy. I guess they're going to have the broker convention, but how do they get everybody on the same page?
Even if it's not brokered,
I mean, how many delegates are we talking?
Even
here?
if it's not brokered, there's going to be divisions and jealousies and chaos.
I'm telling you, this is going to really keep them
even
busy.
if it's not officially brokered, there's a lot of bad blood. And this thing about RFK Jr. here, that now he said this about J.D. Vance because he's making a move for it. You think he's the only one who's going to make a move? No. There's going to be a lot of them.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen. What they say, sharks smell blood. And there's blood in the water. So they're circling. They're circling. And these people love nothing more than power and money. And to even have the possibility of getting this nomination and possibly getting into the White House, because all these people are arrogant. They all think they can win. You're right. It's gonna be interesting because she doesn't automatically get it. Then it doesn't automatically go to her.
No.
So they're going to have to do something at the convention and get the delegates to choose.
It's not till next month, so they got a little time.
But can they do something before the convention?
Well, they were talking about on Friday doing a virtual nomination of Biden on Friday.
How can they get all those delegates on the same page in such a short amount of time? I don't think it's possible.
No, like I said,
they're all going to fight amongst each other.
Exactly, it's chaos.
Now, I mean, you might have, say you have 1,000 delegates. I don't know how many, just for example. Okay, you might have 20% want Newsom, 15%, you know what I mean? And you know how people are with politics. They're hardcore with their person. How are they going to get enough people? I mean, this is just crazy.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Now, I want to talk about Tom Laporta and Laporta Roofing. Tom Laporta is a good MAGA guy. And when I say he'll never sell you a roof you do not need, that means if you just need a simple repair, he will do it. Okay? And no other roofer that I've ever heard in all my life has ever said they will not sell you a roof you do not need. He's the only one. That tells you everything you need to know, right? He works on every type of structure there is, single-family homes, no matter what size that home is, from small homes to mansions. Apartment buildings, condos, municipal buildings, schools, churches, warehouses, whatever type of structure you have, he'll do it. And he works with every type of roofing material there is as well. Here in Florida, he covers from Jupiter south to Miami and Tampa, south to Naples, and everywhere in between. And you can call or text him on his cell phone. This number rings to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Call him. He'll answer. Or you can text him. But you can call, and he'll pick up. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com.
I want to say one more thing. This is such a big deal. I was talking about these news people not getting any sleep, that they're bringing in their primetime lineup on Fox tonight. Jesse, Laura, and Sean are all coming into work today on Sunday to talk about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you do.
Look at everything I've done. I know. Last Saturday night, I went live on the radio. How many
news keeps breaking?
How many YouTube live streams have I done this weekend? I mean, in this week, it's just not. There's nonstop breaking news that's developing all of the time.
It is going to be a wild month.
I saw today when this broke, I did a YouTube live stream today. We stopped the podcast and I went and did a YouTube live stream about this announcement with Biden and Kamala. And I saw Megyn Kelly was live.
And things could change tonight. There could be even more stuff
Michael
going
Knowles
on.
was live. I couldn't believe Candace Owens was live. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, go and look at Candace Owens' live stream today on the Biden-Kamala thing. Look at her makeup. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, really? What's wrong with it?
Well, look at the makeup on her face and then look at her neck
Oh, she doesn't have her glam squad anymore. She's doing her own makeup.
Yeah, when she was over there with the Daily Wire, she had professional makeup people. She's doing it herself now.
Clearly.
And
yeah, the neck has to match the face.
It's really bad, Kathy. You got to see it.
Oh my goodness gracious, I can't wait.
She looks green.
Yes, it's really.
She looks green.
That can happen
I know it's weird
on darker skin.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I know you don't know anything about foundation, but they have different undertones.
But a lot of guys do these days.
Some have
world we're in.
Yellow undertones. Some have red undertones. It depends on your skin, what you use. So you definitely need. It's like a science project.
That's right.
Pick the really.
Well, listen, we're going to take our last break. Don't miss the next segment. Huge developments in the conspiracy in Pennsylvania. Involving the assassination attempt of President Trump. You will not want to miss it. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We will be back right after this break. From author Joan d'Arc comes your next must-read book, Transcender and the Wendigo. Enslaved in a human bee colony, Native American kids confront racism and discover empowerment through knowledge. Transcender and the Wendigo is a blend of science fiction, mythology, and horror that will keep you on the edge of your seat. You'll meet fascinating hybrid life forms and follow authentic teenage characters as they grow and evolve, and explore the chilling yet enchanting bee colony where ancient myths and a futuristic world collide. If you love The Hobbit, are a fan of Stranger Things, or Ready Player One, you will not be able to put this book down. Transcender and the Wendigo is perfect for ages 14 and up and is an unforgettable adventure for all readers. Available now on Kindle, Nook, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other online booksellers. Transcender and the Wendigo from author Joan d'Arc. Are you looking for cute tees that capture the essence of nostalgia, individuality, and timeless charm? Then check out the T-Shirt Grove on Etsy.com. The T-Shirt Grove has a huge selection of tees featuring festive holiday designs, tees for dads, teachers, and nature enthusiasts. From the vibrant hues of vintage band tees to the breezy comfort of boho-inspired designs, as well as delicate nature motifs, there's something for everyone at the T-Shirt Grove. Everything is carefully curated to tell your story, evoke cherished memories, and make you feel effortlessly cool and authentic. Discover your perfect tee and let it speak for you. Start shopping right now at The T-Shirt Grove on Etsy. Online at thetshirtgrove.com. That's T spelled T-E-E. Find your unique style and let your tee tell your story. thetshirtgrove.com, where your memories and style come together. thetshirtgrove.com. From author Candace McCain comes a memoir that you will want to add to your must-read list, Facing Fear, Finding Hope. Available on Amazon. In this inspirational memoir, the author chronicles her courageous battle, her profound experiences of both loss and grief, as well as the remarkable journey towards self-discovery and healing. With heartfelt reflections on love, the enduring presence of departed loved ones, and the resilience of the human spirit, this memoir will touch your heart and inspire your soul. You will join Candace McCain on a transformative voyage where hope, faith, and the bonds of love overcome adversity. Her story is a testament to the strength of the human heart and the transcendental power of love that can illuminate even the darkest paths. This book is a perfect addition to your book club. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Available in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Facing Fear, Finding Hope from author Candace McCain. This is a story of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of love. Don't miss out. Order your copy today. Are you ready to cleanse not just your skin, but your soul too? Then visit sparkle2clean.com. That's the number 2. Sparkle2clean.com is your destination for all natural beauty and wellness. Sparkle2clean.com offer handmade soaps as well as skincare products that are crafted with nature's wisdom as well as modern science. Their Divine Radiant soap is enriched with the golden wisdom of turmeric. It purifies your skin and your spirit, washing away negativity and leaving you radiant. The Sun-Kissed Apricot Bliss Soap is a luscious journey into skin-nourishing bliss. It lets the natural goodness of apricots gently exfoliate and hydrate your skin. It'll leave it silky smooth and refreshed. Sparkle2clean.com also have a line of holistic skincare products that nourish not only your skin, but also uplifts your spirit and awakens your inner essence. It's time to embark on a journey where skincare becomes a sacred ritual. Illuminate your true essence with products designed to restore balance and harmony to your life. life. Visit sparkle2clean.com. More than just skincare, it's a spiritual experience. Sparkle2clean.com, illuminating your inner spirit.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. The Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, who will never sew you a roof you do not need. Online at laportaroofing.com. Okay, we got a lot to cover. Jesse Waters did an interview, and I think this is the first interview with both President Trump and J.D. Vance at the same time. And it's going to be, the full interview is going to start, I guess, Monday night. On Fox, and I don't know if they're going to air it all in one night or stretch it out 2 or 3 nights. You know, they do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But they released 2 clips.
It's a must-see interview for sure.
Well, yeah, we're gonna go through the 2 clips that they released. It's J.D. Vance. It's a sit down with President Trump and J.D. Vance with Jesse Waters here, and we'll talk about each one. This is the first one, which is pretty interesting. The second clip. I mean, I can't believe what President Trump said in the second clip. It is insanely wild. Okay, but we'll do the first one first.
He's not holding back.
No. But the first one's good too. But the second one, you won't want to miss it. I promise you.
No one told you not to take the stage?
No, nobody mentioned it. Nobody said there was a problem. And I would have waited for 15. They could have said, let's wait for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, something. Nobody said, I think that was a mistake. How did somebody get on that roof? And why wasn't he reported? Because people saw that he was on the roof. I mean, you had Trumpers screaming. The woman in the red shirt, she was screaming, there's a man on the roof. And then other people said, there's a man on the roof who's got a gun. And that was quite a bit before I walked onto the stage. So you would have thought somebody would have done something about it.
Okay, now
you would have thought
that. Now that one is an interesting one because it's the first time that President Trump has told us that no one warned him, even though they knew all this time. And obviously, President Trump has been affected by this. I mean, he was almost killed just over a week ago. And he wants to get to the bottom of it, and he is holding no punches. And if you watch the coverage, the government, and when I say I'm talking about the federal government, they've been doing nothing but trying to get you to look away from them. Immediately, they started with this Iran thing, right? Nobody buys that. And there's been a few other things in between, and now what they're trying to do today is lay the blame on the local police, and that ain't going to fly either. Okay, the local police,
they're not going to let that happen.
Aren't going to allow that to happen, and the local police aren't part of this Washington bureaucracy that have family members working for the government and all this stuff, and they're worried about their future. That's not going to fly either. And not just Donald Trump, but a lot of people want to get to the bottom of this. The Kennedy assassination. President Kennedy, not Bobby, but President Kennedy, there's a lot of big differences between this assassination attempt and the one on Kennedy. And back then, not as many people were distrustful of the government as they are now. Now, the entire Trump movement is made up of people who have zero trust in the government. Zero.
Absolutely.
And the media, the mainstream media. So that's another. And then the second thing is,
in fact, I would say I would go even further when Kennedy was shot, because we had just come out of World War II 20 years prior. Vietnam had not happened yet. I would say most people trusted the government. I would say probably 80%.
Oh, easily
trusted the government because we won World War II. Vietnam really wasn't happening, and there was Korea, but I would say that there was not this feeling that you start to get after Vietnam.
More than 80% of the people trusted the government.
Oh, for
almost
sure.
everybody, 99%, very few.
No suspicion.
Now the lone gunman thing started to be questioned not long after, but people really didn't think that everybody now, for the most part, accepts the government killed Kennedy. Everybody believes that, pretty much. Very few people don't believe that. Back then, that wasn't even on people's radar. And the other thing with this one there's many things that are different, I understand, but I'm just talking about a couple major ones. The second thing is, with the Trump assassination attempt, I mean, who knows how many photographs and videos there are? Hundreds, maybe even thousands, because everyone has a 4K high definition camera in their hand. And when there's a rally with Trump on, especially when he's out there, everybody has their phones out recording, taking pictures and videos, right? People don't even watch things with their eyes. They watch them through their phones. And there are literally thousands of videos and photographs of the Trump incident. We've only seen a handful, but there are many more that attendees have that we haven't seen. So unlike the Kennedy assassination, we have videos that are much better than as a Zapruder film because they're 4K, high def, all that. But from every imaginable angle, because everybody has their phone out, right? And this hasn't really been like digested yet because, as I said, most people that took the videos and were taking photos haven't turned them over, released them to the public.
They might not have. They might be afraid. The New York Post just reported that the shooter hid the weapon in advance, according to a Secret Service source, but they don't know where. So he wasn't, nobody saw him walking. That's a huge, I'm sure, he had a big rifle. It was not as big as the guns that the snipers were using. Those were massive, but he had a long range rifle. And, those are not tiny little pistols. No. And he hid it in advance somewhere before they started checking, before the event, probably the day before, I would imagine, or maybe even the week before. He might have hidden it somewhere, maybe in the air conditioner. Maybe, those big buildings have big AC. Who knows? He hid it somewhere, obviously prior to that. Or somebody.
In the video of him walking around the building, he didn't have a rifle. It was already somewhere.
Remember I said to you the other night, I said maybe it was like in The Godfather where they hid the gun in the toilet.
Yeah.
I said it was that kind of thing where maybe somebody put it there for him.
Yeah.
That scene in The Godfather in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, let me play the next clip. So there's only 2 clips that have been released of the Jesse Waters interview with Trump and J.D. Vance. So this is the second one. And what Trump says at the end, this blew my mind. When I heard Trump say this, I mean, I was in shock. This is really astounding. Listen.
The FBI is doing an investigation on the assassination attempt. Do you trust the Bureau?
I don't trust the Bureau leadership, but I certainly think there are a lot of good field agents
JD.
around. But what the hell was going on? How was that guy ever allowed to be there in the first place? I think somebody, whether it's higher up or somebody else involved, really did screw up.
There's some things going on with our government that we have to really worry about. Did we have enough people? Why didn't we have enough people? Somebody said that a lot of people were put on Biden's detail. The problem is Biden doesn't draw anybody. He draws flies.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay, now the draw flies joke isn't the part when he said there's some things going on inside our government that we don't know about.
Yes.
To me, I take that as President Trump saying that forces inside the government were behind the assassination attempt on him. That's what I take from that.
Yeah, and
that's insane.
That's basically what he's saying. And he has to be careful because he still needs Secret Service protection.
Yeah.
So... And a lot of those guys have been with him for years and are friends with him. So obviously he's not going to impugn them or say anything to badmouth them or the people. This is somebody higher up. And I think the connection is Kim Cheadle. I think she's the person. Obviously somebody in the Secret Service who, obviously the person in charge, had to be cooperative and make Trump vulnerable and do something with the communications and this and that to make this all happen. You know what I mean? There's no way this is just some big colossal mix of massive failures that just collided together.
No.
And it was funny. Everybody's talking about it. Even Dana Carvey and David Spade have a podcast together. Even they were talking about it. I think they're conservative. How did this guy get up there? How could this have happened? What was something?
Exactly.
They even said something is suspicious. I mean, everybody's talking about that this is, except Joy Reid or Rosie O'Donnell, who think he wasn't, or George Takei, who think he wasn't even shot, but who cares what they say? They're idiots. But everybody, and that's what's different too. You have social media, you have all these podcasts and all these outlets, YouTube, and all these people openly discussing this attempt and who's behind it. It's fascinating.
Well, the thing about
Fox is talking about it all the time.
The thing about and also you got to understand this. Just because something is a conspiracy theory doesn't mean it's kooky. Okay? That shouldn't, this conspiracy theory around the assassination attempt on President Trump isn't being promoted just by black helicopter people. It's being promoted by mainstream media, CNN, Fox, the New York Times, the Washington Post. The Washington Post and the New York Times both reported this weekend that President Trump's people have been asking for more security for the last 2 years and have been denied by Biden, okay? And more so in the last couple of weeks before the attempt, they were asking again hardcore for whatever reason and denied. These things are being reported in not just mainstream stuff like Fox, but left-wing mainstream media like the New York Times.
And Washington Post is reporting things.
So that's another big difference with the Kennedy assassination. The conspiracy stuff around Kennedy started not long after, but not immediately. It has started immediately with this, and it started with
there's no active cover up.
Well, they're trying it, and it looks like they're trying to blame everything on the director of the Secret Service.
Why do you think the liberal media is even doing their job and reporting and investigating?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So let me play this next one.
Maybe some of them are fed up too.
Maria Bartiromo, she interviewed Ron Johnson today, and we want to play some of this. We'll go through it. I'm very happy that Hawley, Johnson, Blackburn, and there's a few other senators that are all over this. Josh Hawley went to the site where the assassination attempt happened, and FBI ran him off. And, there's such a difference between senators and members of the House of Representatives. There's people in the House I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. But members of the House of Representatives are really seen as kooks by people in government, not credible. They're kind of like activists. They're treated like lunatics. They're not treated with that much respect, right? Sitting United States senators are a big deal. And the fact that we've got a team of Republican sitting senators that are all over this and questioning, going to the site, going on TV, confronting the director of the Secret Service at the convention, this is unheard of stuff. So anyway, having senators going after this is like a really big deal, guys. It really is bigger than people realize. Okay, So anyway, let me get to this. So Ron Johnson was on with Bartiromo today on Fox, and this was just an amazing interview. Listen.
My staff immediately started reaching out to local law enforcement. We've gathered a fair amount of information. Again, we're just scratching the surface. But a couple of things that we found out. For example, the Secret Service did not even attend the 9 o'clock security meeting with local law enforcement. Pretty well put in charge the Butler County law enforcement to coordinate things. Law enforcement wasn't even on the same channel.
So that was just to be clear, Senator, that was a 9 a.m. meeting on July 13th, the day of the shooting.
Correct.
Secret Service
Secret Service
there.
together for site visits, weren't even there. Yep.
Okay. So, now this here we'll start to get into in comp, like they weren't even on the same channel, right?
Yes, that's very weird.
This is, I don't know if I'm not saying that Johnson's lying, but I can't believe that is an accident, okay? To me, that seems very bizarre to me. And what they're doing, this is a way, well, how could they have known? They weren't on the same channel. Local police found the guy, right?
Kind kind of turned over some of the outer perimeter stuff to local law enforcement. They weren't even on the same security channel. So the sniper and SWAT teams weren't on the same channel as the patrol officers, and they weren't on the same channel as Secret Service. So they had to relay things. One of the things we found out is that we've got a more detailed timeline. This picture is now on the internet, but a photo was taken by the local sniper team in the AGR building at 5:14 of Crooks. So again, we had pictures of this guy. Why was he intercepted?
And this is another thing that just blows me away. Have any of you ever heard a story that the Secret Service and law enforcement at a Trump event had someone they were looking for that they lost contact with and couldn't find and had like on some most wanted list or something? I've never heard of such a thing. So the very idea that there's someone they had on their radar, they had on a watch list, they had a photograph of it, and they lost track of them. I've never heard of anything like that happening. And if there was somebody like that at a rally and then a rally was over and they were still concerned about them, they'd still try to find them. I've never heard of something like this happening.
I wonder
before.
if it's normal for them to be on the same. I'm assuming they share comms. I mean, he said it like they were on different comms. Like that's an unusual thing, because I would assume since they're all working together that they are on the same network to communicate with each other.
The city manager who talked to the media a couple days ago said that there was a shared tactical channel that everyone was listening in on, including the Secret Service. So this is all right. Now let's get back to this because some things come up in this. This is Senator Ron Johnson with Bartiromo. Oh yeah.
So many unanswered questions here.
The pictures were taken at 5:14, and he was shot at 6:11.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, we've got a more so I'm going to be issuing a preliminary report. It's preliminary. It's just scratching the surface. We're primarily going to release that report to solicit more eyewitness testimony. If you took video, save it. Make a backup copy. We can glean things in terms of audio and in terms of where the shots came from. Was it one rifle? Was it more than one? I've seen some pretty interesting video on the internet by experts that certainly calls into question what the FBI is telling us about a single shooter. Again, we're only just beginning this, but it is so important that people who saw things, that have information, they preserve it, they memorialize what they saw, because memories change over time. They can be influenced. So it's good news on a bipartisan basis. Chairman Blumenthal and I are dedicated to taking transcribed interviews with law enforcement and just members of the general public that were at that rally. No matter how
Okay, now this is interesting because we were talking earlier about videos and photographs. What Ron Johnson's talking about is now they're getting organized to try to get people to send them the video and the photos and the audio that they have, so things can start to get pieced together, so they can find.
So who do you send it to him?
They haven't set it up yet. They're going to set up. They're going to set up a way for people to do that.
Significant your piece of information might be, it might lend to provide the full story of what happened, because the American public needs to understand what happened here.
So I know that, I tweeted out yesterday the fact that you're doing this bipartisan investigation, and I put on your email. You have an email that you want people to send information to, and I know that you'll tweet that later. But I got to get to this.
Listen up.
After the shooter was taken down by Secret Service, the local law enforcement, and I know this from some of your preliminary comments, your preliminary findings, started taking pictures of the dead body, right? Can you tell us what happened then?
Okay, now this is when it gets nuts.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This next part here is insane.
And this is a U.S. senator talking. This is not Alex Jones.
No, this is.
So you could take this to the bank.
This is nuts. Listen to this.
And he's on Fox News. You could take this to the bank, guys.
Correct. So that sniper team that was in the AGR building, they're the first ones that went up on the roof. They were the first to encounter the dead assassin at that point in time. Later on, other people joined them, and somebody told them to send the pictures they had taken to an ATF agent, which I think is very strange. And we called up that ATF agent. That individual said that he was with ATF, and now he's gone dark. We've also reached out to the Secret Service agents in charge on the ground. All we're getting there is the runaround. So we are getting information from local law enforcement, and we appreciate that. But unfortunately, federal law enforcement agent, they're just saying, well, go through your congressional liaison. Again, that's going to be unacceptable. I wish I could rely and have faith in the FBI and the Secret Service to do a truthful accounting of this, but that's not been my experience with the Russian collusion hoax, and for years dealing with federal law enforcement. We need completely separate and independent investigations, and it has to start now.
So are you questioning whether or not there was a second shooter? Is that what you're questioning, or if the shooter had a different gun?
Okay. Then they go off on some other things, but so there's this mysterious ATF agent,
a guy in a gray suit.
Yeah, and that's gone dark now. I don't hear any confirmation. I'll play the rest of this just to hear else he gives us. I don't hear any true confirmation that he was ATF. And why was ATF at this point already interested? And why did this mysterious ATF agent need to confirm the death of this particular person?
It's like
a photograph,
proof of death.
It's like it's like someone who was overseeing this operation needed some confirmation that the person, that the patsy they put up was dead. Is how it sounds to me.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of anything like this happening. Now,
it's like out of a movie.
It is. Now, I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. Guys, those of you that are Patreon supporters, your support helps this program a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. And those of you that are Patreon supporters, make sure you visit the Patreon page for all the exclusive things that Patreon supporters have exclusive access to. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every podcast episode. So the names you'll hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, Brandon, Rob, and Trish Wilkerson, and Christy R. Thank you all for your support. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the episode. Just follow that link and it'll tell you how to do that. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will talk to you next time.